on a second, pause. Hello, welcome back, and a very special welcome to all those students who are joining us as direct entrants for the first time this year. Okay, so let's look at that final award. The first thing to understand is the process. So, at the end of this year, a programme board will meet. On that board will be a chair, various programme tutors, one of whom will be representing you, external examiners, and they will look at each candidate in turn. They look at your whole profile of your time here at the business school, and they work out what degree we can offer you. Now, the way UH does it is mainly based on a formula called an algorithm. It's really important you understand that, so I'll now take you carefully through how that process works. Oh, and by the way, before we look at the slideshow itself, there's a couple of key things to tell you about in terms of rules changes. First one's a fairly minor one. What used to be called level 3, your final year, is now referred to by the university as level 6. So your second year was level 5, your first year was level 4. The second one, a bit more major, we used to give you your final scores for modules in grades. The university has now decided we're going to stick with percentages. So all your scores this year will be in percentages on your final transcript. Let's start by looking at the basic approach we take to calculating a degree award. So as you can see, our approach is based mainly on a mathematical formula. Before we get into that formula though, there's one critical thing you need to know about the basic requirements on what you've passed to qualify for an award in the first place. So it's really important, if you've got any missing modules you haven't passed from your previous studies, speak to your programme tutor. You need to find modules to fill those gaps to make sure you get an honours degree at the end of your time here. If by any chance at the end of the year you haven't passed all your modules, we can help. So it's just 2 modules, 30 credits only, but those 30 credits can come from any level of your studies. The basic formula is quite complex, but let's have a look at it. As I said, quite complex. The best thing we can do is to work through some examples. So we always take the average score from your best 90 credits in the final year. Now let's see where the other part of your score comes from. So as you'll see, the other part of your score comes from your best 30 credits at level 5 or level 6. You don't have to decide or choose, the system automatically calculates this for us. So let's look at that example finished off where they had no good scores to bring forward from level 5. So if you've got no good scores to bring forward from level 5, it's just going to be your average score at level 6 that goes forward to work out what degree you get. So we've got your average score, let's see how we turn that into a final award. So as you'll see, no discretion, it's simply a matter of what score you get and what grade that gives you. Most people will find that their final award is based though on the couple of good grades they bring forward from the second year. Let's see how that changes things. So the good scores brought forward from the second year move this person up from a 2-1 to a first. Let's look at another example, this time where the student passed a referral exam in their final year. So if you do pass a referral in your final year, the score for that module is capped at 40%. But because most people have got good grades to bring forward from the second year, you can still get a good degree overall. What happens if you just miss a first or a 2-1 with your average score? So it is very fixed, it is not flexible. If you just miss a degree, you get the award that score gives you. There are special rules for those of you who are entering directly into our final year. So you do need to pass everything, but then your final score will be based upon your best 90 credits that you achieved in this year with us. Remember earlier, we talked about compensated passes. The bad news is there is a penalty for any modules where you need that compensation. Don't forget, this penalty applies whether that module was compensated at level 4 or level 5 or level 6. So let's work an example through where this compensation penalty comes in. So because of the compensation, we lower the average score and move this person down from a first to a 2-1. What will happen if I don't have enough credits to get a degree at the end of this year? So we'll offer you an award. If you don't want that and you want to come back and top things up, just make a note that all the modules you take in that topping up year, the scores are capped at 40%. Some of you may have decided or be thinking about splitting your final year. So there are no academic problems if you want to split that final year. Sadly, each year, a few people run into problems with academic misconduct. So the effect is really serious. If academic misconduct is proven, you cannot get an honours degree that year. So after the board has made its decision, do you have any right of appeal? So please do look at these rules carefully. The grounds for appeal are very carefully specified. I hope you found this presentation useful. The rules are fairly complex. So if you've got any further questions, please do ask your programme tutor. It's really important you understand how things work for you at the end of the year.